I just started my recording. We're just doing a review day. You have that handout in classroom. We're working a homework problem right now. So this one was x to the negative 2/3 plus x to the negative 1/3 minus 6 equals 0. Okay, we have two options for doing this problem. We can do substitution with it, or if you aren't scared by the ugliness of it, you can go ahead and treat this just like any other box method problem. So some people are really confident in their factoring and they can just look at this and start factoring. Other people get scared by the ugly exponents and prefer to do substitution. It doesn't matter to me. Which way do you guys want to try? Whichever is easiest. I don't know. I would probably just try to factor this, but does anybody opposed to that? Let's see if we could just break it down. One thing I have noticed, when can you skip drawing the box and just go straight to these two parentheses? This leading term has a coefficient of 1. Some of you are trying to skip that box when you can't. So if there were like a 3 out in front, you have to draw the full box and work it out. Okay, x to the negative 2/3. We just have to take that exponent and split it in half. So negative 2/3, if you split that in half, how much does each one get? Negative 1/3. Now I need two numbers. Multiply to negative 6, add to positive 1.
Negative 3, no, negative 2, positive
3. We've done our box method. Two things multiply that equals 0. So if we set each one equal to 0, we get x to the negative 1/3 equals 2. And x to the negative 1/3 equals negative 3. Are you with me so far? What does a negative exponent do? Let's start there.
1 over x.
Okay. So if I wanted to solve for my x, I could multiply over my x to the 1/3. And then what would I do? Divide by 2. What's another way I could write x to the 1/3? How do you get rid of a third root? So if I cube each side now, 1 to the 3rd is 1, 2 to the 3rd is 8, equals x. So there's one answer. One answer. We're going to do the same thing over here. So multiply over our x, divide by the 3, and we know a 1/3 power is the same as a cubed root. The opposite of a cubed root would be to cube. So I'm going to take each side to the 3rd power. So 1 to the 3rd is 1, 3 to the 3rd is 27. You guys know that you can always go back and check these just by plugging them in the original. These should work if it's one of the problems that starts with like the square roots and you're squaring, or fractions you absolutely have to check because they may not. Did that help? Any others from last night that are really giving you trouble?
Yeah,
Sorry
that's what I was
about
looking
that.
for.
Nope, I just completely dropped that. So it's negative 1 over 27. Thank you.
Don't you have to plug them back in and check?
Yeah, you should. They do both work on this one.
They do?
Mm-hmm. I would just use my calculator when I plug them back
Just
in.
type it all in.
Yeah. Okay, so now you're working on those 10 problems, and I'm just going to come around to each of you and see what questions you have.